We've got the Page of Coins reversed. Aries, there may have been some sort of, maybe there was a job, or maybe you were planning to move forward with some opportunity, some money making opportunity, and you're not quite ready. You may be feeling within yourself that you're not quite ready, or you may be finding out somehow this month that the advancements that you plan to make initially are not going to happen uh, right now. Some of you Aries just may feel like you're not ready. You don't know enough yet. Um, some of you may be feeling like you lack the skills or training to move forward with something. Now, I don't know yet, because this could also pertain to moving forward in some sort of physical relationship, maybe even a health regimen. We'll see that as we start to turn over the cards a bit. But what I'm feeling like with the Page of Coins reversed, Aries, is there is a move that you want to make, that you were going to make, that you need to make possibly, that you are not quite ready for yet. For there's a reason why you don't seem to have the ability to move forward. So now let's see what's going on in the home and personal life, in relationships with other people. You've got the Palace of Cups reversed. Um, for some of you, I'm feeling like for some of you, there may be a trip that you were planning to take somewhere, off the lake. Maybe some of you were going, some of you could have even been flying over water. But I feel like some of you may have been taking a trip with a loved one, maybe some family members, and maybe an opportunity, a money opportunity that you were supposed to move forward with didn't happen, and therefore this trip is not going to happen. For others of you, in matters of your personal life, your home, things that are going on in your subconscious, there is some sort of inability to get to this ultimate place. Some of you may be on some creative ventures. We're trying to solidify uh, something maybe that you've been thinking about for a long time, and you wanted to move forward on it. But I'm feeling like some of you Aries, there's something financially that's going on with you that are keeping you from bringing your trips into fruition, that may be keeping you from being able to fund some sort of maybe creative project that was personal to you. Maybe it was something that was going on within your family dynamic, something that you were trying to bring to fruition, to create this ultimate place for some of you of love and creativity. And I'm just feeling like there's a reason why you cannot move forward with that. And it has something to do with finances, or it has something to do. Some of you may have been thinking that you were making some advancements of some sort, maybe at your job. And as of right now, that's not happening. Let's see what's going on in the Mercury position. This is going to talk about your communications with people. This talks about your uh, what's going on in your neighborhood, what's going on with your siblings, your job, anything that has to do. I'm sure I already said communication, social media, all of that. We got the Three of Swords reversed. All right. Aries. Okay. Some of you have left the relationship, or somebody has left the relationship, and I feel like there was some cheating involved. There was a third person involved. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me go back. because I didn't show the cards. I know it's a little difficult to see. This was you. This is the page of wands. I mean, the page of uh, coins reversed. And I'm sorry I didn't hold those up for you guys to see. It's a beautiful card. And there's something about, let me just go back. There's some sort of, like I said, non-movement forward, maybe a downturn, a step back where resources are concerned. And, this was what we talked about here in the moon position, this palace of cups. You can see that in the upright position. It's a really like watery card. I feel like this card is it's got a real serious Neptunian influence. So in the reverse, something is not gelling right. Something in your personal life, and we're coming to what that is here with this Three of Swords reverse. So, the Three of Swords upright is a difficult card. Reversed is even more difficult. What I'm feeling like I said, as we get back to this, is that a relationship has ended, is ending. There's definitely been some upset and some reversals of fortune where you're concerned in matters of your personal life. And this could be either, at home with a family unit. For some of you, this is going to be in one-on-one relationships. But I'm feeling like, there's a third person. For those of you who are going through a breakup or who have gone through a breakup, that is because there was some cheating going on. There was some backstabbing, some deception, some lying. And I think that there were some things that were found out, some things that may have been said, some written communication that you may have stumbled upon, or that somebody has stumbled upon. And it's certainly caused some upset in your personal life. And I feel like, Aries, unfortunately, there's more to come. You're going to find out some more things that may not be very comfortable. For some of you, I feel like there may be some sort of separation from some money-making opportunity, maybe a job. Maybe some of you are being laid off, or some of you have lost a job. And yeah, of course, it's causing upset to your emotional structure, and it's also causing upset with your financial progress. In the Venus position, is going to talk about uh, possibly a significant other. This could talk about creative expression. It could also talk about money. It's the things that we're attracted to, the things that we find beautiful. It's the way that we give and receive love. And in this position, we have the Ace of Swords reversed. So we got two swords. And so we're talking about a war of words. They're both in the reverse. I feel like there's definitely something going on with communications, with things that are being said back and forth. And, now as I look at this, Aries, I'm getting more of a feeling of things that are going on in the workplace right now, more so than in love. And I'm feeling like maybe there was an opportunity or an idea or something that you were expecting to happen, that you were expecting to come into that did not happen. And I feel like it was because there was some lies that have been told. There was some deception. Somebody is two-timing somebody. There's definitely some conversation going on between two or more people. I feel like that there are some words being twisted. I even feel like there may be some ideas and things that are so underdeveloped right now that for some of you, I feel like that there are some things that you have on your mind that you were trying to express. Some things that, uh, these things would have contributed to uh, your financial progress. But either it's not quite ready, it's being expressed in a way, maybe I feel like some of you are expressing yourself in a way that other people are taking very, very wrong. And then I feel like for others of you that this is a situation where there is some gossip, there is some backstabbing, and I feel like this may be going on in the workplace or in your neighborhood. This could be some stuff that's going on between, like I said, siblings, cousins. But I feel like somebody's words are being twisted. And there's still more to come. What there's something that all of the details aren't out yet. For some of you, like I said, and I may have already mentioned this, there may have been an opportunity. I feel like somebody where you work or where you make your money was promising you some sort of new opportunity, um, and they just flat out lied about it, or they came off as being able to help you. Okay, I wanted to say that I feel like that there was somebody that may have offered you something or promised you something or told you something that was an absolute lie, and now you can't move forward. And while that still may be the case, Aries, I don't see any court cards yet, other than this page of coins, which is you. So I'm getting more of a feeling, Aries, just to backtrack again, is that some of you were really, really wanting to move forward on some sort of new project. And this project may not have been new, but you were in a new place of wanting to move forward or feeling like you could on something that could possibly bring you financial gain. Um, I feel like this may be a situation of where you needed to spend money to make money and you're unable to do that. Um, I feel like that maybe whatever it is that you had in your mind that was going to, be this particular trade or service or whatever it is that was going to help you move forward to make this money was underdeveloped, not expressed right. Um, or I feel like maybe you were trying to put some information out there, put some new ideas out there, and people just tried, just really slandered you and talked about it and tried to tear you down in the community, in the neighborhood. And some of you may even be questioning whether or not that idea, um, that thought, that new inspiration, I think some of you are questioning whether or not it's good enough. Now, Aries, what I'm thinking is it's not necessarily a matter of whether or not it's good enough. I think that what it is underdeveloped at this time. There's some work that needs to be done on whatever this is that you might be trying to put out. With all of these cards so far being in reverse, I definitely see some delays, some blockages. And I think that there are things that are going on under the surface that are not quite ready, or that haven't come out, that are not quite ready to come out. And until these things do, whether these are things that come from you or come from somebody else, I feel like you won't be able to get to this ultimate place. That, and if I feel like that this is something that is affecting you personally, I'm not really seeing a bunch of family at this time. So what I'm thinking is this is something that is very personal to you as an individual. And until these ideas, these concepts mature and are ready to withstand, anytime you put something out there, somebody's going to try to chop you down. And I feel like it's not a matter of as to whether or not your idea, your thought, your inspiration is not good enough. It's just a matter of right now I don't feel like it's strong enough to sustain you as you try to move forward, to some particular financial goal. Okay, so let's move on to the Mars position. In the Mars position, we have the Nine of Swords reversed. The Nine of Swords is a heavy card, and here we are again with these swords. There is a lot of conflict, a lot of communication. Um, Now, while relationships don't necessarily stand in the forefront, I do still see that there's, because it's some involvement with maybe somebody else, Aries, somebody that you've broken up with or they've broken up with you, but I don't see who that is yet. I don't see any other court cards. But what I'm feeling like, unfortunately, is that this is something that is really, it's nasty already, or it's about to get nasty. Um, hmm. Okay, Aries. While I don't see another court card, the more I think about this, I do feel like for a lot of you Aries males, there is a female who is like talking shit about you, twisting your words, twisting your ideas, and really, really making an effort to chop you all the way down with this Nine of Swords reversed. With this Nine of Swords reversed, there's paranoia about something, extreme worry and anxiety. Um, these cards are kind of heavy, Aries, and there's something that you really, really want to end. You want to bring it to an end. But right now, you're unable to. You're unable to start this movement forward. And I'm noticing, once again, we've at this by now, all of these cards are still reversed. This is the Nine of Swords. So, nines are about endings, things coming to an end. But with it being reversed, like the rest of the cards, I'm feeling like they there's something that you are unable to bring to completion, and the reason being is because all of the information is not there, and the information that is out there, I don't think that it is I've heard in the news somebody use the words in regards to what's going on in politics right now is alternative facts. That's the new one. I guess that is the politically correct way to say lies. I tell you, lies. So I feel like there is really some alternative facts that are going on around you. And I'm not making light of the subject, but these are some heavy cards, Aries, and I know last when I talked about this just then, which was a love reading for you, Aries, for January. I know that some of you were trying to get away from a relationship, and then I told you that somebody was really, really manipulating you. And for a lot of you Aries, I feel like that this is a continuation of that. Whomever that is, I told you was intimidated by you, and I feel like as a result, the only way that they feel that they can inflict any pain or harm, or the only way they can win against you is just to go out and kind of slander you, um, to gossip, to backbite. And I do feel like for those of you on the relationship part of this, I do feel like that this is because there was probably another person involved. There's some talk that's going on, and there's some nasty talk that's going on between two or more people. And I did say I didn't see relation. I just wondering if another core card is going to come up and show us who this is. We got three more cards to turn over, Aries, so you know, hope is still there. But I want to get back to the Mars card, talk about this Nine of Swords reversed, which is gonna operate under the Mars and Gemini energy. Um, so I really feel like that, whether this is you or whether this is another person, this is a no holds barred type energy. This is definitely working on the shadow side of Gemini when it comes to communication and the ideas and the back and forth that's going on. The dialogue is nasty, and I don't know who the dialogue is going on with, but the dialogue, whether that's between you and somebody else, whether that's between somebody else and somebody else, I feel like the dialogue is nasty. I feel like somebody's out for blood. You want this to end, but there is some stuff that you just don't know. And for some of you Aries, this is taking place in your job, but for some of you, this is taking place in a relationship. And this could be a relationship that you were having at your job, because, and I talked about the love reading, but at the same time, this could be a situation, Aries, where some of you were walking away from a job situation, or a money making situation. Okay. Let's see what's in the Jupiter position. The Jupiter position, this talks about spirituality and expansion of things. Jupiter generally tries to bring good luck to a situation. It could be about long distance travels and higher consciousness. Um, let's just see. Wow, we got the two. Jeez, we've got the Two of Swords reversed, Aries. Oh, jeez. Okay, there's absolutely no doubt. Like I just said a moment ago, the dialogue here is nasty. Whatever the thoughts are, it is nasty. And I am sorry. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I mean, let's just face the facts here. We've got out of eight, what is it? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. Out of eight cards, we've got four of them that are swords, and swords are the ultimate weapon. When knives come up, people are out for blood. At least with a wand, yeah, you might get bludgeoned and you can still get jacked up, but with a wand, you probably stand more of a chance of walking away with your life. And I'm not saying that anybody's going to get literally killed. What I'm saying is that whatever's going on with this conversation, with this back and forth, with this dialogue, somebody's out for blood. And I think somebody's making a plethora of bad choices. what the expansion here, it's not, when Jupiter comes to expand, Jupiter can expand things that we don't want expanded to. And I feel like that this is a situation where there is an expansion or a whole lot of bad mental choices. There's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of anxiety and fear and even some paranoia. I feel like that there's a lot of, there may not, because what I don't see is physical cards. I feel like all of this is going on in matters of, thought and expression. And I feel like somebody is out for, they're using their words, they're using their talk to go for blood. Somebody's definitely not being fair. There's a lot of bullshit involved. There's a lot of lies. There's a lot of gossip. There's a lot of deceit. And I think it's causing some separation. And in that case, with this Palace of Cups being, when we talk about emotion and feeling, in the upright position, it's the ultimate, it's the happiest. But in reverse, sure, with all of this going on, Aries, yeah, it's going to cause you to not be feeling, personally, like you're on top of the world. You are probably just really in a place of confusion. And it's like I said before, Aries, somebody is intimidated by you to the fact where, what I have to say is watch who you are communicating with this month. I feel like you find out who your friends are in the month of February. Okay. In the Saturn position, Saturn can talk about obstacles and restrictions, can talk about. I'm sorry if I didn't show you guys the Two of Swords, but I got a little excited because, I'm just kind of bothered with all of these damn swords and the fact that they are reversed and the fact that the energy from this spread, it feels combative. So anyway, back to the Saturn card. This is, I can talk about our obstacles and restrictions and delays. Um, but Saturn also makes us responsible. Yeah, it makes us take responsibility for things. It makes us, uh, act like adults, if I hadn't said that. But so let's see what we have. We got the World card reversed. The World card is a major arcana. It's in the Saturn position. Foolish. Wow. Aries, be careful how you try to move forward. I am feeling like right now, or for the month of February, there are really some delays, uh, and some blockages and some obstacles. Not saying that you're not going to get there, but whatever is going on with all of this right here, uh, all of this, I'm sorry, with the swords, is really going to have to be worked out. They're going to have to be some different choices made. Aries, if you allow yourself to get caught up in the drama, now, in a sense, because again, no court cards have popped up. So Aries, I hesitate to say that these could actually be some things um, that you are generating within yourself. With this world card reversing, and the world card shows all of the elements, and this is a Saturn card. So we've got the Saturn card in the Saturn position, and we've got it reversed. So definitely Saturn is going, whoa, whoa, hold up. Nope. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You need to go back and make some better choices. A step out of this paranoia, this jail, this restriction that you may be creating for yourself. Because now, I'm kind of thinking about this. I want to go back a little bit and say, Aries, that this may be a situation. If these are things that are coming from within yourself, it may be a matter of you needing to make some different decisions, and these different decisions will help you release yourself maybe from this paranoia that you've been in, this anxiety, this restlessness. I mean, and when the Nine of Swords, like I said, is upright, it's a difficult card, but when it's reversed, it's even more difficult, because at least when it's upright, and I talked about nines talking about endings, you can end that cycle. But with it reversed, you're not able to put an end to that cycle, and I think it is because of the need to make some different choices, to rethink things, definitely, about your mental structure, the way you think about things, the way that you talk to and communicate with other people. And this is for the Aries that, this is something going on, within you. There are some of you that are having things that are going on with your job, or another person, all of those things that we talked about initially. But I don't see any other court cards. You're the only actual person in this reading so far. We got one more card to pull. It's the outcome. But so I do have to say, and with this ace card as well, because aces, they're one, and talk about the self. But we certainly have to look at the fact that there are other people involved in the world. So just because the cards aren't here doesn't mean that there aren't other people involved. You are in fact dealing with the world. You're out here in the world. But I'm starting to feel more and more, Aries, like this may be some stuff that is possibly going on within yourself. So back to what I was saying. The reason that Saturn is blocking you, Saturn is restricting you. Saturn wants you to go back and take a look at the way that you are thinking about things, communicating things, and making different decisions. Like I said, could possibly help you in this cycle of anxiety and guilt and fear and paranoia, and help you in that. And it's a need for you too to cut to the bullshit, whether or not that this is something that is from you yourself, or whether or not this is something that is going on externally. There's a need to look at the dialogue and the communication and the thoughts and the ideas for what they really are, and cut to the bullshit. With this reverse, that's not happening right now. And what's happening is a lot of unnecessary backbiting and gossip, in your neighborhood, in your workplace. If you have a partner who may have been cheating on you, or maybe if you were the one who was possibly cheating on your partner. But I feel like Saturn is keeping you from coming to this sense of completion. The world is the last major arcana, and with this card popping up in the spread, what I feel like, Aries, is that it's saying that you should be to a place by now where you are able to, or where you should have been able to complete a particular cycle. But there's still a lot going on here that needs to be worked out and perfected. Saturn is not going to let you move forward until these things are taken care of. And like I said, it may be a matter of, it's not that your ideas or your communications or whatever it is aren't good ones, they're underdeveloped. And with this being the page, this being you, we talked about this at the beginning. The page is, he's the youngest of the court cards. The page is just starting his movement. And with him being reversed, that holds him back. When the pages are right, sure, yeah, they're young in their movement, but they actually do start. They do move. What I feel like is there's an inability or a lack of movement here. And, with all of these cards reversed, I know I've said it several times already. Yes, this is obstacles. This is delays. Now, I do want to say this before I pull this last card. Swords are air signs, and air moves quickly. So the only thing that even makes any reference to long periods of time is this page of coins. And this is you in the situation. So, what that may be saying is, yes, there's going to take some time. There's going to be some time that's needed. It's going to take time for you to write these situations with the swords. It's going to take some time. But because you are a pentacle, it shows that you do have some roots. You're steadfast enough. You'll hang in there long enough to do it. Now, what I feel like is this thing with the 3 of swords and the ace of swords and the 9 of swords and the 2 of swords. Once you get on that track of making different decisions, all of this stuff you can turn around quite quickly. It's air. It moves quickly. And once you do that, water moves a little bit slower than air. So I feel like once these things are worked out, whether this is within your psyche, within your dialogues with people, whatever may be going on around you, the gossip, the backbiting, once these things are worked out, then the next thing to happen is you can create this place of ultimate feeling and love and peace and, you know what I'm saying? Spiritual connection and all of those great things. It's going to take a little bit longer because water moves slower than air. And until then, Saturn's going to make you responsible for whatever it is that is going on in your life right now. And whether these hardships are caused by you internally or whether or not it is going on externally, Saturn is going to make you own up to whatever your part is in these situations before it lets you complete this particular cycle. Okay. The outcome. Well, how about that? Okay. Now, okay. All right. See, that's what I'm talking about. Aries. With all of that, the Empress shows up. So Saturn's not letting you move forward or complete a cycle until you take care of these issues. Once they are taken care of, the Empress, you see, she's got a baby in her hand. And if you look, there's harvest, there's food, there's, the things that provide us sustenance. This card is full of green. That's resources and money. It's physical health. It's tangible things. So once all of these things are taken care of, then the Empress comes up, and that means that you are able to give birth. You are able to put out there. You are able to bring out of your psyche, out of your mind, out of your thoughts. You're able now to make this something tangible and give birth to some new opportunity. And it's ruled by Venus. This card is ruled by Venus, which can talk about our money. Our creative expression. Our significant other. The bottom line is, February may seem like a bit of a whirlwind of thoughts and things like that. And they're going to be, they're probably not so nice thoughts and not so nice communication, not so nice dialogue. But you go from being unable to move forward in something to being able to finally give birth to that you've been trying to give birth to this whole time. There's just a need to go back and correct some things, some ways of thinking, some ways of dialogue, some ways of communication. Or you might have to go back and fix something that somebody else has messed up for you. But until it's fixed, until it's rectified, Saturn is gonna say, hold up, whoa doggy, let's fix this. And once you do this, now let's roll. And that's the way I see it, Aries. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am. I know that this probably there's a glare and all of that stuff, and I'm sorry I didn't hold the cards anymore. But I'm going to be making some changes soon on how I'm doing the presentations and stuff like that. But I hope that you were able to get the message. You know, I'm sorry that this is a little heavy, but this actually moves very quickly. This moves very quickly. So, and again, with this being the Empress card and this being a major arcana, this is not something that is fly by night. So all of these little issues, you move through these quickly.